Hello there people and welcome to SNMB Academy. So let's just practice some harder quadratic equation graphs. So we practice some light ones first. Let's just move on a level. So now the question says on the grid draw the graph of y equals to x squared minus 3. So we've got a graph over here. Now as you probably some of you can see if you've seen the beginner ones first, that we don't have a table here which states the x values. Right? How do we know what's my x? How do we know what's my y? What do we plug in and what's going on? So we know that our equation is y equals to x squared minus 3. So whenever you have an equation and you're told to draw a graph, the first thing that should come across your mind is, oh wait, let me just draw a table in which I can label my x and y. So that's the first thing that should come along your head. And the second thing now is, okay, I've drawn my table. What are the numbers? Now, how to look at the numbers is you're going to look at, obviously you would need your x. So your x values you will get from your graph. So this x-axis. So you have the numbers from -2 moving all the way along to 3. So we go -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, and 3. And that's exactly what you plot. So we have 6 numbers. So let's just make the table fully. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So my numbers are x is -2 to 3. So -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, and 3. So there we are. We've got our x values. Now all we have to do now is exactly the normal thing as what we normally do. Plug in our x values into the equation and find our y. So y equals to x would be bracket squared minus 3. That's my equation of the line. Plug my x's one by one. So -2 first. So -2 squared is 4 minus 3, that's 1. Let me just rub all these. It's looking messy. Okay, so that's my first. So x equals to 1. Oh, sorry, y equals to 1. Now, the next one would be when my x is -1. So y equals to, when x is -1, squared minus 3 equals to what? So -1 squared is 1, minus 3 is -2. When x is -1, -2. And then you continue. So let's just continue doing it. Y equals to, my next value is 0. 0 squared minus 3. So that's 0 squared is 0 minus 3 minus 3. So that's -3. My next one is 1. So let's just quickly do this. 1 squared is 1 minus 3. That's -2. So I'm not doing it like that. I'm not going to write that down anymore, but you can continue. Or let's just write it down so everybody knows. So y equals to, we have 1 squared minus 3. So that's -2. And we have 2. Y equals to 2 squared minus 3. That's 4. 2 squared is 4. Take away 3, 1. And lastly, we have, oops, when y is 1, you're right, there. And lastly, you have when x is 3. So y equals to 3 squared minus 3. 3 squared is 9. Take away 3, that's 6. So that's 6. So here we have all our values. So we have the x values and then we have the y values. Now all we have to do is plot them. So let's start with -2 and 1. So when x is -2, y is 1. X is -2, y is 1. When x is -1, y is -2. When x is -1, y is -2. When x is 0, y is -3. When x is 0, y is -3. When x is 1, y is -2. X is 1, y is -2. So we can see there's a dip and now it's starting to rise again. When x is 2, y is 1. When x is 2, y is 1. And lastly, when x is 3, y is 6. X is 3, y is 6. Oops, all the way up there. Okay, so we can see by the looks of it, it's looking like a perfect quadratic graph. Now, how to draw it, we've already practiced that in the previous videos. So we try to do this half first, making sure we're going through the points. Once you've done it till here, you can continue going there, or you can just start from this side and come back. There we go. That's a perfect quadratic equation graph. So whenever you are given the equation, nothing to worry. Just draw the table, plot your x values in, find your y values, and just plot the graph. Simple as. So I've got another harder question actually. Quite a different question as to what you normally get. Now, so this question says that complete the table for y equals to x squared minus 3x plus 1. So again, we know that it's a quadratic equation because that's an x squared. So the table is given here, but there are a couple other questions that we have that the examinations could normally ask. So let's do the first one. When x is minus 1, what's my y? So y equals to x is minus 1 squared minus 3x, again brackets, the first one is minus 1 plus 1. So that's minus 1 squared, that's 1, minus 3 multiplied by minus 1, that's plus 3, and then plus 1. Just make that black as well. Okay, so 1 plus 3, 4 plus 1, that's 5. So when x is minus 1, y equals to 5. Good thing there's only 2 that you need to find out. Okay, so the next one, y equals to, when x is 2 now. So x is 2 squared minus 3, x is 2 plus 1. So again, 2 squared is 4 minus 3 multiplied by 2, that's a minus 6, and then plus 1. So 4 take away 6 is negative 2 plus 1, negative 1. So you just have to make sure you write it out. You don't have to, but it's easier to just write it, and so you can clarify and differentiate between the minuses. You have to be very careful about the minus, the negatives, very important. So that's minus 1. Now let's just plot the graph. So when x is minus 2, y is 11. When x is minus 2, y is 11 all the way. Boom. There you are. When x is minus 1, y is 5. When x is minus 1, y is 5. There you go. When x is 0, y is 1. When x is 0, y is 1. When x is 1, y is minus 1. When x is 1, y is minus 1. Then when x is 2, y is also minus 1. When x is 2, y is also minus 1. When x is 3, y is 1. X is 3, y is 1. You're probably thinking too many numbers. I'm sorry, but I'm just doing it to make sure that you know exactly what I'm doing. When x is 4, y is 5. When x is 4, y is 5. So again, looks like a perfectly plotted graph. Now let's just draw the graph for this. Now again, point to point, freehand curve, and making sure you're giving it a little dip. A lot of people go straight, which is wrong. And then again, you can come from the top, or you could just go from the bottom. And there you go. A well-drawn quadratic equation graph. A perfect curve it has to be. Now, we've already practiced this part. The main part that we are actually doing is, so part B we have done it. So the main part is part C. So use your graph to find an estimate for the minimum value of y. Now, what's the minimum value of y? Minimum value would be the lowest, or the bottom part of the graph. The lowest part of the graph would be the minimum value of y, because this is the y-axis, remember. So wherever the graph is at this minimum would be the minimum value of y. So it seems to be this point, so this line here around this one. So the graph is, this is minus 1, this is minus 2, so it's going up in 2s. So 0.2s. So this one would be minus 1.2. So just making sure we understand what the minimum point means. Alright guys, thank you for watching. Do not forget to subscribe to our channel and keep yourself updated for so much more content. Thank you.